All righty. Well, welcome to the Resilient Living podcast. I am Jared Wilson, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host Megan, my wife. Ryan is at home with his family this evening, so we're just gonna keep on keeping on, and we're gonna talk about off-grid heating and air systems.
Of which I know very little, so I'm here to ask questions instead of offer content.
And any comments, any thoughts that any of y'all have, questions, whatever, just feel free to drop them in. I do want to stop before the stream. We've got some comments from Joshua Madden in here about his son having open heart surgery, and I just that hits heavy, man. I really wanted to just stop and pray for your boy real quick, if that's all right. So Father God, I just lift up Joshua's son. Lord, I know that you are the healer, and so his son is in your hands ultimately. I just ask for wisdom for the physicians and all of the staff that are going to be working on his boy. Lord, that you would just be with all of them and that you would give them peace through this circumstance. And if they do happen to make it out here to Tennessee, Lord, I just ask that you'd bring them to the right place, that you provide them with everything that they need. So Lord, just be with them. We love you. It's in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All righty. So I wanted to talk about not specifically off-grid heating and cooling, but maybe more like passive heating and cooling.
What do you mean by that?
So growing up, my dad was very interested in how to efficiently heat and cool our house.
Your dad was all about efficiency.
He was. And okay, so I grew up in a really small house, so it really didn't take a whole lot to heat and cool it, with some caveats. So like we would at night open up the windows and put a box fan on one side of the house and suck all of the hot air out of the house and suck in all the cool air. And then by morning time, it was nice and cool, which was great. So that was like kind of my introduction to
a simple system,
a passive almost, it had an active aspect with the fan, but a different way of approaching heating and cooling. So like as I've gotten older, I started looking into this, and it's funny because we didn't collectively as a society, we didn't actively heat and cool our houses until fairly recently.
How recently?
Well, cooling specifically. Heating, we had stoves, right? Fireplaces, yeah, whatnot. Fireplaces are horribly inefficient though, because most of the heat goes up the chimney, and we'll get into that of how to retain that. But the way we constructed houses was different. It was designed intentionally so that you could open a window up here and open a window down here, and the natural convection, the heat would displace and it would rise up and out and it would suck in cool air. It was a natural system that would just function. And so I've got some, let me see if I can be all clever and pull up some pictures. So I have some pictures here. Okay, so here we go. So here, and for those who are not joining us live and are listening to this, I do apologize. I will try to explain things as I'm going. But here's a picture of a home. And in the picture, it shows a diagram of airflow going from lower levels to upper levels, utilizing natural convection and cooling summer breezes. And this was a really a common thing in most houses, was to have these passive windows to take advantage of prevailing winds, to take advantage of root cellars or basements, because you have this cool, moist air in the basement. It's like, hey, we got it, use it. And so that kind of got me going down this rabbit hole of, me and rabbit holes.
Yeah, you love a good rabbit hole.
Of like, okay, well, how can we take advantage of this? And so I started looking into different ways that people have approached this, and not even just like how people are approaching it now, but how people have approached this to solve problems in the past. Like, okay, courtyards. Courtyards used to be really, really common, especially like in the Middle East. Did you ever think about why?
No.
So the idea is when you have your house built in this horseshoe shape with this area in the middle.
Horseshoe or totally square?
Sometimes they were totally square, but sometimes there was just a horseshoe.
Okay.
You would have, no matter what, as the sun would go over, you had shade all the time.
Okay.
And so there was always shade in the middle area.
Okay.
And so you had, and then a lot of times they have like maybe like a water feature,
Mm-hmm.
which naturally heat, you know, as the water evaporates off, it absorbs a bunch of energy.
Yeah.
And it cools down. And so you have this common space in the middle that is kept cooler and can then cool all of those areas by just opening windows.
Okay.
And then if you did like a horseshoe shape, you could do, you know, the prevailing wind might drive the air through that area and force that, you know, coolness into the other areas of the house. So one of the things that I remember with Dad, we were working, my dad was an electrical contractor. And so we went onto job sites all the time. And this one job, there were these tubes that they were burying in the ground. And I thought, oh, cool. They're just running, you know, conduit or, you know, something for electrical, or maybe it was for plumbing or something. They were really big. I couldn't figure out what it was. They were air tubes.
Air tubes.
So the idea is, and this is again a passive, you can do it in active with like fans and things, but this was a passive system that you have this big long tube and then you have a heat differential. So underground, it stays, depending on where you are, 60-ish degrees most of the time. You get down
all the way down to 60?
You get down in the dirt and it stays cool all the time.
Okay. I knew cool, but I was thinking like 70 something.
Even if it was 70, if it was 90 degrees above, it's still
That's
cooler.
Pretty great.
And so you could, by angling these tubes, depending on like where your house sat relative to the tubes, you could basically create a flow of air through these tubes that cooled off.
They came from where and went to where?
So like this one, there was a hill behind the house, and so the air tubes were above the house that would flow down into the house to cool the house off.
Oh, okay.
In the summertime, which was brilliant. The other thing he did was part of that tube system ran under his driveway.
Okay.
He never had to sweep the snow off his driveway ever.
Oh,
the concrete pad stayed, like, even if it stayed 40 degrees, it was above freezing. Yeah. And so the snow would never melt or would never stick to it. Oh. And so his driveway was like one of the few that no one ever had to fuss with. And so that kind of was like, oh, okay, this is really cool. If you can do that even if you could just take the edge off, even if it, and so I started looking into like partial in-ground homes, and the same thing with like, greenhouses. Because I mean, if you want to extend your growing season, you put it in a greenhouse. Well, you still have to heat and cool and monitor your greenhouse. Well, if you do a partial in ground, that takes care of a lot of that heating, because it brings up that lower level to a more manageable, and then you can just heat above that.
Sure.
So that was kind of the impetus of learning all of this information, was like, I want to be able to effectively and efficiently heat and cool my house, because that honestly is one of the biggest energy draws on a home, is heating and cooling.
Cooling especially,
and especially if you live in the South. If you live in the South
or the Southwest.
Oh yeah, right. We have the added benefit, no, it's detrimental, of moisture.
Oh,
at least the Southwest doesn't have as much moisture.
Yeah.
So I started looking into like buried homes, and we even looked at some.
Yeah, we looked at some buried homes. House hunting.
The problem with those is, especially here, is moisture. You can't walk into one without like tasting the air.
I remember this one we looked at, and we knew it was a fixer-upper, but when I walked in, I said, okay, like, as long as it's fairly dry inside, then I'll go for this. We walked in and there was like an inch of water in the back room.
Yeah, it was really, really wet. Yeah, so like having a buried house is cool, but like what if you don't? What if you already have a home? You're like, well, what do I do? So then I started looking into different installations, different systems, and there's some very cool, very novel installation systems um, that can definitely alleviate a lot. But the biggest one that I saw, and this is funny, um, so without having to completely reconstruct your house, they framed in the exterior walls on a 2x6 um, wall depth, but they only used 2x4 studs.
Okay.
Okay. So they would stagger them. So like one stud would be spaced because it's a 6-inch plate on the bottom and top, and it's a 2x4. So it would be all the way to the outside edge on this one, and then the next one would be all the way to the inside, and then all the way to the outside, and all the way to the inside, and all the way to the outside.
Okay. So there's a gap down the middle.
So there's not just a gap down the middle. There's no physical contact between the exterior cladding and the interior cladding.
Oh.
And so there was no path for the energy to transfer from one side to the other. And so the insulation weaved its way in between those studs. And it was really cool. And they showed it with like a thermal imager.
Oh.
That there wasn't
heat transfer.
Because you can see with like a thermal scope, you can see where the studs are. You can see that heat transfer in summer and winter.
Oh wow.
Because it's either going to be hot on the outside, leaking in, or hot on the inside leaking out. It's one way or the other. So that was really cool. I was like, okay, if that's a possibility,
because air is a great insulator.
Yeah, just having that gap. So if that is a possibility, like ripping out just the interior of your wall, doing that stagger, yeah, you lose 2 inches of your room, but you might potentially save tons of money in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So another one that I absolutely fell in love with, and I know you were not on board, is this.
I was not on board. I couldn't imagine having that in my living room.
Okay, so for those who are listening, this is a rocket mass heater system.
What does it look like? It looks like a badly constructed mountain inside your house. Like
it is odd, I will grant you. So basically the way a rocket mass heater works is you have your how you like when you're cooking or not cooking, but you like running a stove, you kind of like shut it down so it just smolders continually.
Mm-hmm.
So rocket masses are completely opposite. They run wide open.
Will that burn up all your fuel right away?
Yes, they burn everything up and incinerate everything. But okay, so back on that picture, you have like a 55-gallon drum. So the way it works is that hole to the front of it is where you would put your fuel. It sucks the air in, burns it up, and inside that drum, there is. Was I clever enough to put a picture of the interior? It does not appear I was that smart. Okay. Inside of it, basically, the chimney goes inside of that drum, and then the smoke goes around the outside of it and then back down. So that gives the smoke time enough to completely combust.
Okay.
So you don't have creosote and cool down, which means it's transferred all of its energy out.
Before it leaves your house.
And what doesn't get transferred in that moment goes through this long bench seat, which is made of sand, mud, concrete, whatever you've got available to you. And so it's this big long loop of your chimney before it ever leaves your house. So by the time it gets out, I like this one better. So you can see that is a clean out down there by that pail. So that, because you're going to have an accumulation of whatever
eventually.
And so it gives you an opportunity to clean it out. But for the most part, it's just ash.
Okay.
But once you get that sucker up to temperature, it stays it never gets blistering hot because all of that thermal mass absorbs it slowly.
The surrounding concrete absorbs it.
Okay. Right. And then it releases it over the next several days. And so you build a fire, you get it up to temp, you let it die. It stays nice. Maybe a day or two later, you build another fire, you get it up to temp.
So you don't run it all the time.
No, because that would unless you're going for like a sweat lodge thing, that'd be miserable. So yeah, that's a really cool. It's definitely not passive, but it is much more efficient.
Mm.
But you have to dedicate a fairly substantial amount of floor space to it.
And it's fairly rustic, so you really need more of the cabin look.
Yeah, you're not going to get away with that in a Victorian
No, or
or
super modern.
yeah,
Or
no. It would be wise if somebody would come up with a more
aesthetically pleasing design.
I wasn't gonna say I would say alternate aesthetic
Okay.
design. That would be smart. So if somebody is watching this, get on that, do that because I don't have time for that. So another way that we heat and cool is water. So heating and cooling air, though our normal HVAC systems sucks. Air is such a horrible way of transferring in any kind of heat or cooling into an area. It's really, really, really bad. And so using water is so much more efficient. So your aunt and uncle, they had the water heating and cooling system. Their concrete
In the
floor,
floors, yes.
Yeah. Radiant heating and cooling.
Yeah, that's nice.
Dude, like getting out of the shower and having a nice warm floor to be on.
Oh, in the winter, walking around in your bare feet and having the floor heat you up, you can't beat it. It's lovely.
Yeah. So for those watching, this is basically what it looks like. It looks like a whole nest of tubes laid on the floor.
Well, before they pour the
and then
floor.
they pour concrete or whatever foam over the top of it to seal it in, and then you just flow warm water, cool water, whatever you want, just to heat and cool the floor, and then that vicariously just heats and cools the whole house, and it just stays this it's very still because you don't have flowing air.
Yes,
it was always very still and calm, which I really very much enjoyed. So funny, another way you can do that is your compost pile
with the tubes running through your.
Okay, so inside of a compost pile gets to like 140 degrees, like hot, like stupid hot. So you could technically put a coil, here we go, inside of your compost, right? You can build like a copper tower and put your composting in there and allow it to break down. As the biomass breaks down, it produces heat, and you could have your hot water heater off of it.
Yeah.
But see, your hot water heater, if you think of it more like a battery, your battery gets filled and then it just stays full all the time. Well, why don't you just use it? So you could use it in your radiant heating system.
Oh.
And you've got, if you're running it off of compost, you're not losing any money because you're not having to spend money to heat it.
Sure.
So why not just use it? So that was a really cool system that I really, really liked. Was just like, okay, well, you can just use this passive radiant heating and cooling and then use compost to do it. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Like, you get compost. So if you got rabbits and whatever compost you want, and you got your heating and cooling to take care of you.
Yeah.
So was that? Yeah. So yeah, you could have just your wood chips heat your house. Simple enough. Yeah.
That's a big pile.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah, it definitely would be a big pile, and it is hard. But then it always comes back to like what Ryan and I talk about. It's you can get your solar energy or whatever, but how do you keep it? And that goes back to that, to the efficiency of your insulation. So like when we did closed cell spray foam insulation in our shop, the difference that made
huge,
was insane. Like I did not expect it.
The sound dampening was insane.
Okay, yeah. So it's a metal building. It's just basically a pole barn. And we spray foam insulated the entire attic area. And yeah, absolutely sound deadened it. But it was just,
and when it got hot, it didn't get to be boiling inside the shop anymore.
That was it. It was because you had this like infrared radiant heat just pounding down on the top.
It
Okay,
was like an oven.
you're not as susceptible. Those of us who are follically challenged, are
Likely challenge.
more susceptible to this. We can feel the IR just kind of just digging into our skull. It wasn't there. It was so nice. So like,
Mm.
going back to the house I grew up in,
Mhm.
so we had wood stove, we had, the windows open. The problem was keeping it hot and keeping it cool because the house was not exactly a newer house.
Mhm. It was built in the
Um,
30s?
yeah, and it was insulated with nothing or maybe
Newspaper.
some newspaper in a couple of the walls. There was some wad up newspaper, and that was about it. So if you have the opportunity of digging into your walls and closing those
Gaps.
gaps up around windows, around doors, because that was another big one, is like anytime you have any air gaps and leaks in and around through the walls, through the chinks, through whatever, the difference that made
Mm.
sealing that up was
Mm.
incredible. I remember when we redid Holly and Mai's bedroom,
Mm.
the difference between winter before and after was crazy. Like it was so much nicer all the time.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, like compared to like my bedroom, which was a screened-in porch.
Yeah.
I think my record was at 110. I don't remember. It was
Yeah.
stupid hot out there. But yeah, it makes a huge difference. So any kind of insulation you can get to increase your R value up underneath the floor. That's
Mhm.
one that I didn't really appreciate on the West Coast, but I really appreciate here.
Yes.
Is getting insulation up underneath the floor. We've got a foot of insulation in the attic,
Yes, it's
or maybe
wonderful.
more. It
It
was
really helps the house to stay at
it's
constant
just,
temperature.
yeah, it just stays nice most of the time, and so that's been a big one. So anything you can do to increase the R value, just to trap. I mean, you're spending the money on heating or cooling anyway. You might as well keep it
Yes.
the greatest amount of time possible.
Mhm.
Yeah, so anything you can do to increase the R value of your windows and doors too. Yes, they are expensive, but calculate it out. I mean, your return on investment, it might be out there, but it's gonna come,
Yes, eventually, and then your profit after
and
that.
it's just pure profit after that. Absolutely. Um, yeah. So like, and yeah, I saw mom commented on that yeah, he took a solar building class in 80. I remember those books. I remember sitting there at the kitchen table with him designing these homes, him calculating our altitude, or how high we were north and south, all the angles and everything to figure out exactly how big of an overhang he would need to have so that we would get the right amount of sun during the winter time, and we'd have the shade during the summertime to maximize. He had this like dialed in. It was really a lot of fun.
He would have loved a problem like that,
Oh yeah, he was,
or he did love a
he
problem.
absolutely did. So yeah, so what he was doing was like a house like this where you have a window up in the top eave. And so in the wintertime, the sunlight shines in and through, and so you're absorbing as much of that energy as possible. But in the summertime, the overhang of that eave blocks the majority of that sunlight and reflects it off of a preferably highly reflective roof, so that you don't have that energy in your house. It's one thing that really bothers me, I guess, is,
About
oh, okay, so you just drive around. What color do you see most predominantly on roofs?
brown?
Dark colors.
Yeah.
Why? Like, I want to get rid of that heat. I don't want to like trap it. I want to reflect
Can
it.
you imagine? Like, I think I could imagine a light gray roof, but like,
I would like a light gray. That would be nice.
yeah, you could never do white. That would get
Well,
stained.
they do in like the Mediterranean and
Yeah,
stuff. You
that's
have all
true.
these just like white
Yeah,
houses
because they need it.
because they need it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm going back to, is that there are solutions
Mm.
that we have kind of ignored because we've got the money, we can just over HVAC a house.
Mm,
And instead of,
what a waste.
but what a waste. Exactly. It's like, well, why am I spending this much on heating and cooling when I could just make a house that's more efficient?
Mm,
So if you have the opportunity to build a house
with a white roof,
with a white roof,
or at least
and
light
a,
gray.
and a rocket mass heater stove and
Yeah.
some radiant,
And insulate your floors.
and insulate your floors and do a compost
Water heater.
water heater.
And
You could build a really baller house.
Yeah, you could.
And never have to spend a dime on any heating and cooling
thereafter.
and hot water. I mean, like, really, that's kind of it to me. That's the dream. I don't know, but I dream weird. Oh, don't even. So anyway, so I had that. What was it? Because our typical house is done with these fiberglass batting, which is an R value of 2.9 to 3.8 per inch. That is really, really, really low. Like, that's really, really low when you can jump up to something like close. There's even some other ones where some of the wools, some of the hemp products that are just naturally
wool. Do they insulate things with wool?
There's certain type. Ryan would know exactly the types, but there are certain types that they work really, really well.
Oh, that'd be so great if we could find a use for wool again.
Exactly, we need to. So anyway, so that's a large part of what I wanted to talk about. What else? We got some comments. Humidity is always a bonus down south.
Bonus.
Josh, I don't know if I'd call it a bonus. It's something we contend with. Bonus. I'm not sure.
That's a nice way to put that. A
bonus. There is Well, tastes great way to start heat. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It settles. Yes.
That's good.
So you'd have to come up with like a suspension system, or maybe refill, or fluff it.
I don't know about a suspension. Sounds like the way to go for me. I don't know that you'd want to be continually refilling your walls. You'd have to have access to the interior of your walls from the top.
Details. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I don't know. So, anyways, something to think about.
Yeah.
We could figure something out. Originally from New Jersey, I know quite a few people from Jersey around here.
Yeah.
You'll fit in great. All right. Well, I know this is definitely a shorter one, but if there's any thoughts, comments, considerations, questions, concerns. There are other C words in there that I can't think of.
Considerations?
I think I said that one. Yeah. So I had contemplated a
contemplation.
Nice. See what I did? So there's this thing called a plate frame heat exchanger. And so basically what you do is it's like a radiator that's overlapped with another radiator, so that you can have one cooling system or heating system interacting with another one indirectly, so you don't mix your chemicals. So in the hospital, we had like a glycol mix in some of our cooling systems.
To keep them from
freezing. And obviously you can't have that interacting with a water system, like or our steam generation or something like that, because that would mess everything up. And so my thought was like, oh, well, cool. If you can do that, then let's say you wanted to do something like the composting, but you didn't want it to interact with your hot water. So you could run it through a plate frame heat exchanger, and you could get your hot water without having to run your drinking water out through your compost.
I would prefer that. I would definitely prefer my drinking water not to be piped through my compost pile.
And same thing with like your flooring system, because I would imagine you don't want your water to expand in pipes in your floor, because that could be bad.
That sounds bad.
So again, some kind of a glycol mix.
Sure.
But you want to be able to heat and cool it, so a plate frame heat exchanger, and you can do it. You can isolate it so that you can turn it off. If you needed to service it, to bleed it off, you could have an expansion chamber if you needed it. Like there's options. So anyway, um, there are other systems like there's the solar water heating systems, like they're like black tubes that absorb solar energy. They work okay.
My grandfather had pipes run underneath the driveway
Yes.
to heat the pool.
Yes,
And
exactly.
for 30 years it worked.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, because I mean, you had a black driveway.
Yeah.
That would just get piping hot.
Uh-huh.
He had all the energy. Your grandpa he was a smart guy.
Yeah, he was.
He was a really smart guy. But yeah, no, it's a perfect application and utilization. And that would have been
the 70s.
Yeah. That's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was ahead
of the curve.
Way ahead of his time. So yeah, you could do that. I've seen a lot of different, I've seen some focused solar installs, although they so California and their ridiculousness came up with this great idea. They're like, okay, we're going to take all of these mirrors and we're going to shine them up at this giant tower, and we're going to heat up I think it's salt to like stupendous temperatures and make this steam generator that could run a steam turbine that will produce power. And it's this huge mirrored array.
Okay.
What they built basically is a giant solar turkey cooker, because every bird that flew through there would just and you would have crispy critter.
Oh, that's so mean. Oh, and all the environmentalists oh, it's bad.
It finally got shut down after they said, oh yeah, this doesn't actually work the way we thought it would work, which I think is funny. So there are definitely limitations to application and scale,
some drawbacks and things to consider.
And yeah, right, there's that's often the case when you try to make these grand scaled systems, that you end up with all of the negatives and few of the positives. Whereas when you try to do a smaller scale, person sized, things work out a lot better.
Go big or go home does not always apply.
Right. Well, yeah, we see the same thing in a lot of farming practices. Like they go big to make it efficient, but then they end up having to make up for all of those shortcomings over and over and over again. So yeah, no, it's been fun. All right, let's see. It's some
happy critters.
All right. Oh, Brian. I imagine there was quite a few critters who were happy to have fresh fried chicken served daily. That is hysterical, bro. Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, no, there are some great utilization. Oh, I remember now. So let's imagine you're off grid, totally off grid, and you're running off of a generator.
Okay.
Like any system, it's going to produce heat as a byproduct, because any internal combustion produces heat. So you can do what's called a cogeneration plant. So we did this at the hospital. Our big diesel generators ran the cooling system through our steam generation system. And so we would preheat all of the water. And so they would steam off and flash off super, super easy, because they were piping hot by the time they got to the steam plant.
Okay.
So that is an option is when if you're running like totally off grid with a generator, you can use your hot water from your generator, again, plate frame heat exchanger or something like that, to isolate it, because you don't want the oils to mix in case you had a blown head gasket or something. But you can use that energy elsewhere in your installation, and now you are recapturing some of that energy and not having to burn it twice. Another thing that I hate, and I would love to see somebody come up with a better solution for, is refrigeration. Because, okay, so you've got a refrigerator, maybe you got a deep chest freezer or something like that in your house. Those are just pumping heat into your home, which is fine in the winter.
Yeah, but in the summer it's not.
But in the summertime, now we have an issue, because now we're having to deal with that. And I've seen people, I mean, around here, they'll stick their refrigerator out on the front porch. I don't recommend that.
No, that doesn't seem good for your food. And then your refrigerator is going to have to work so much harder.
All the time.
All the time,
right.
yeah.
Another one that I've seen is people trying to utilize the evaporative cooling to help their air conditioner.
Oh.
And they'll put a mister and spray misted water around the air conditioner.
Okay. Does it rust it?
Don't do that. Yeah. Oh, not just rust. Well, because imagine right here the minerals that are in the water.
Okay.
So as soon as that water boils off, now you're stuck with all of these minerals over all of those fins. Yeah, the HVAC guys do not appreciate, because cleaning that off is a pain. So yeah, don't do that. But there are other options for heating and cooling systems, and yeah.
Sure. There's that refrigerator that we've been meaning to try.
Yeah, what was that called? I went looking for that today because I wanted to talk about that, but I couldn't remember what it was called. So basically what it is a terracotta pot suspended inside of another terracotta pot with wet sand around in between the two. And so as you fill it up with water, or you fill up the gap
space between the two with water,
and as it evaporates off, it chills that interior terracotta. It has to be uncoated, like raw terracotta, like no coatings, no glazings, nothing. As that exterior one evaporates off, it will suck the heat out of the interior pot, and it gets like cool. And we were going to build them, but
we just haven't gotten around to them.
So we will get a test. Maybe we'll do that this next summer.
That'd be fun.
We'll do a test.
We know that the system works though, because I used to have a wine chiller that was a terracotta thing, and it worked great. Just a single layer, not even having sand in between, but you got that thing wet, and as it evaporated, it chilled that wine down to 70-something degrees.
Yeah, so yeah, there's definitely solutions. Another solution, and Ryan and I have talked about it, is there are a whole bunch of, and you can get them on Amazon, of little refrigerators designed to go in a car. So they run off of like 12 volts. Well, you can hook that up to a solar panel, and you can have your solar powered. Exactly. So when you go camping, you don't have to have this ice chest and everything gets soggy. And
there's water at the bottom you have to drain out.
And then you got your sugar daddies dissolved in the water.
Twice as bulky and heavy as you actually need.
Yep. You don't have to fill it up with ice. You have it charged up. If you really wanted to be clever, you could have, batteries and all the charge controllers and all that, but you don't really need to, because once it gets cold, it's going to stay cold for at least overnight. And then the next day you have the sun out again. Assuming you have the sun.
You have the sun. Yeah.
Tennessee, you never know what you're going to have.
You never know.
So anyway, yeah. So there are definitely solutions for off-grid and or
alternate.
Yes. And it really is, it requires just a little bit of thinking outside the box. So like, well, yes, but what if?
What if?
And there's a lot of what ifs, especially when it comes to homesteading, because it's kind of just a open box.
And that people are just going to keep on coming up with good ideas.
Yeah. Well, and that's the hope is having conversations like this and talking with people and sparking ideas of like, oh, well, because I don't know what you know. You may know something that I don't, as far as a technology that I don't know exists. So that's really why we kind of harp on community, is the more we can communicate with each other as far as what we know and what's possible, the more resilient, that's where it comes from, we as a community become. Because like,
I think of it like before Pinterest. Stick with me here. Before Pinterest, if you wanted to do something artsy or crafty, you had to think of it by yourself. Now Pinterest, you type in just a general idea of what you want to go for, and other people have already thought of 10,000 great ideas. And so it's when you pool all the brains, then there's this wealth of knowledge at your fingertips.
So what we need is a manlier version of Pinterest. That's what I'm getting.
Homesteading Pinterest.
Hey, I'm here for it. Let's do it. So if there's any computer codey kind of programmy kind of people out there who want to take on a good project, we need
homesteading Pinterest.
You know what? I've heard of worse things. That doesn't sound bad to me at all. So yeah. So if you're clever with web design and or whatever,
Yeah.
I don't even know what that would require.
I don't know. But anyway.
Alrighty. Well, if there is any thoughts, concerns, questions, comments,
Considerations.
Hey Rocky, what's up, bro? Yeah, yeah, you know stuff. You know things. You do. What you got, Joshua? Koreans use a floor heating system. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, and that's what I see a lot is when I look internationally.
Read the question out loud for the
sorry,
podcast.
my bad. The Koreans use a floor heating system. It's a mix of RMS and a radiant floor heating system. So it is when I look into internationally and I look back through time, and bless the internet, I can do both. There's a lot of solutions out there that are brilliant. And it's like, oh yeah, why don't we do that? We really and Ryan and I have talked about it. It's kind of like the chicken. The chicken is not the best way of getting an egg. It's not the most reliable egg. It's not the best egg itself. It's not like it's just consistent. It's reliable that it exists. It's like a 2x4 made of pine. I'm like, yeah, it works. Is it good? No, not really, but it works. And so we just lean into it. And that's just what we build with. That's the egg that we get. My sister apparently built a clay pot heater. Oh, like with the little tea candles and propped up inverted clay pot thing. Is that what she did? Have I looked into AI to build a coding? I have had a very mixed interaction with AI. It's one of those things where, when you ask somebody a question about something that you don't know a lot about and they give you an answer, you don't know if the answer was good or not. So I would ask questions based, of things that I didn't know. And I got back answers and went, oh, okay, cool. That must be it. And then I started questioning those answers and went, well, let me ask something that I really know very thoroughly, something about biomedical engineering or whatever, cars. And it gave me the stupidest answer ever. And I'm like, nope, don't trust you anymore. Not at all. So that was ChatGPT. I've tried that same thing with Grok. I've tried the same thing with Gemini. I was like,
it's a good place to start to get some ideas, but you can't rely on it.
Yes. Inspiration. I like using AI for inspiration. That is, yes. Which is kind of what we're talking about is inspiration. So
back to homesteading Pinterest.
Yeah. Right. So having, looking internationally, looking back through times, like why did they build their house in this way? Why did, even going back to like, was it Pompeii? It was Pompeii. They had these aqueduct channels, and I assumed that these aquifers were, or an aqueduct, whatever, channel for water, were for like getting water to the houses and or getting rid of waste.
Sure.
But also apparently part of it was that there was cool air that flowed through them.
Oh.
And so now you have a cooling system, a water system, and a waste system all built in one.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's just brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, why not? What you saying, Joshua? Okay, basic knowledge and inspiration for ideas. Other than that, AI just isn't there. I agree wholeheartedly, sir. AI is just not there yet, which I'm not necessarily heartbroken about because
we still
Terminator does not need to have a smarter brain.
I know.
He'll get there one day, and I'm yeah. No, I want my Terminators to be dumb so that they're easily disabled. Yeah, no, there's a lot of great potential solutions. I've Mr. Roger Keith. He's a fantastic builder, and he and I have had several conversations about the way it used to be done.
Okay.
Specifically about natural ventilation. Like, oh yeah, it used to be so that we could, open this window and that window, and it would just naturally flow through and, catch that breeze during this time of the year. Even coming down to like what trees you plant around your house, because you want shade during the summertime, but you want sun during the wintertime. So having a tree that drops its leaves planted around your house, at least on the sunny side, is incredibly useful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you could have windows on that side, then but shade them with the tree, which provides a nice, shade and something of a cooling effect because of the moisture that's in the tree.
Sure.
And then the leaves drop, and now you have sunshine during the wintertime.
Excellent.
So we've all seen Terminator, yes. So how, we can think even further outside the box in that, like maybe it's down to what plants we plant, how we, what direction we face those windows, going, that is, if you have the opportunity to build.
Yes.
If you don't have the opportunity to build, you do have the opportunity to plant a tree.
Yes.
And, maybe if you can, plant maples or something that does drop leaves, and maybe not maples. They tear up concrete like nothing else. Remember our house in Paradise? Those maples just absolutely destroyed our sidewalks. But yeah, there's definitely options when it comes to natural ways of creating those blocking effects.
Just gotta get creative.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Rocky.
You reluctantly use AI? Yeah.
We would also rather interact with people.
Yeah. In person or online, preferably in person. Yeah. Community with a diverse spectrum of people, experience, and specialties. Sir, you are not wrong.
Amen.
And that's honestly a big part of why we want to do these live streams and why we want to build up a place for people to gather online. Yes, because this is the day and age we live in. But right now, the East Tennessee something foundation, I don't know, they're homesteading foundation, I don't remember who it is. They're doing a big powwow right now, and they're getting together, and they've got vendors who build and create and do stuff. There's a whole big national community of people who are, in our mindset, that want to have those connections and meet people. So like if you're in the Middle Tennessee area, come by, hang out at the shop. I'd love to talk. I'd love to learn more, because I definitely don't know what in the world I'm doing. And I might know something that you don't know, and that's awesome too, because I have a really weird knowledge base.
Very eclectic.
Yeah. So if you want to know about biomedical engineering or classic cars or fabrication or whatever, I can talk about that. What I think about using fidgets to block out some winds and add shade. Yes. I mean, like, what do I know about it? Very little. That would be Ryan. Ryan is the man.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. There's like I said, there's a lot of people who know a whole lot more than I do.
We miss Ryan.
I'm happy to orchestrate those conversations. I'm not
lead them.
I'm not the guy to lead that conversation, but I am more than happy and willing to orchestrate anything. Yeah, actually, so we did go to the mutual assistance group in Spencer the one time with Ryan. Actually, he was doing a demonstration on solar applications, small direct powered solar, not like battery backup systems.
And so they do a thing kind of like this podcast where they have speakers come in and everybody gets to learn together.
Yeah, everybody. And it's great because like they all share a meal together, and there's something to be said for just sitting down and eating together.
Yes.
And having those conversations and getting to know your physical neighbor. There's we've lost a lot. And I'll bring this back to church things. When we started being more picky about where we went and who we got, who we spent time with, we've lost a lot when we don't know our own neighbors. And that's one of the things that the mutual aid groups are really good because they are physically close by. Like, okay, so whenever I do a radio setup for anybody who comes into the shop to buy a radio, if they want it, I'll set up their GMRS radios, and I will always put a channel in there, and I call it the Van Buren channel. And I talked to them about it ahead of time. I was like, hey, look, if anything bad goes down, whatever, get on that channel. That way, if we can communicate with each other, we have a means of communication, because weather can get really crappy sometimes. We lose power sometimes. Can't get across the roads sometimes. Stuff happens.
Mhm.
And communication is key, and knowing your neighbors and knowing where they are. I mean, I was talking to Will today. He's like not even 5 miles away.
Oh, good.
And so we've got radios. Did a setup for another friend of mine, and he went back to his farm, and we tested, and I can talk to him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Michael Bennett. He's
Mm.
not that far away, and
Mm.
I can talk to him from here. I'm like, okay, this is cool. Now I just need to get a repeater set up so that we can really truly cover this whole valley here.
That'd be really cool.
If we can get another repeater set up on the other side, we can bridge it so that we can really cover all of this area. I mean, we would be able to cover from Pikeville to Sparta
with some good repeaters.
With a couple repeaters, yeah. So maybe we're working on it. We're trying some stuff. They're mostly what I sell are just like Baofangs. I just report. Oh, sorry. So Joshua asked if I build the radios. Yeah, no, they're Baofeng. So I originally was selling the UV17Rs, then it was the 17R pluses. So that gains you 7 watts instead of 5. It gains you USB type C charging instead of the cradle. Tri-band, so that includes air traffic control frequencies and the GMRS frequencies. They all have the capability for all the NOAA channels. But then I went to the UV32s, the new ones. That's a 10 watt transmit, which is above what GMRS allows for the frequency set, but you can adjust it using Chirp or whatever software you want to use. They're killer. Like thus far, I've been really happy with them. They also include GPS location ping, so you can enable or disable the radio to ping out your GPS coordinates on transmit. And so you can have all of your friends with 32s ping their location to each other. I'm trying to figure out exactly how best to utilize that information as far as coordination. So technically somebody could, if they had an emergency, ping their location out and I could, find them and say they slid off the road or something like that. We could potentially locate and help, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, I've been drafted into radio systems. It's definitely not my forte, but it's been fun. What's over? I want that one. I have the UF25s. So you've got the UV5R, which is a great little radio. They're solid little suckers. The 32s, when they first hit the market like 3 weeks ago, this is stupid. I had 2 of them for $70, I think. I just went in there to get some new ones because I've had several people request them now because I've been playing with them and they like them, and they're $100 a pair now. So the prices have
gone up.
when things are popular, they like to charge more because they're jerks. So I'm now looking into becoming a Baofeng dealer just so that I can try to control that, because that's coming through secondary and tertiary resellers. So I want to try and minimize that upcharge as much as I can. And
looking into it anyway.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll see. And if I can, you can always buy it on our website and I can ship it to you. No worries. So, and I can do a setup for you, and just ship it to you pre-set up. So just let me know what it is you need, and I'll take care of it for you. Yeah, no, it's not too bad. It really isn't. There's a lot of radios that are way more expensive. There are benefits to, like we talked about last week, there's benefits and there's costs to everything. Mm-hmm. You can get a Hytera, you can get some of the really nice radios, you can do itinerant business frequencies, you can do all these other fancy things, and yes, they're good. You can get Motorola CP1000s, you can do all these things. Are they that much better? I mean, like, okay, go back to firearms. Yes, you could do a Daniel Defense. It's a great gun. No question asked. Like, really, it's a great gun. Is it that much better than an Anderson? Like, same thing with like Bear Creek Arsenal. Like, I personally, I have not had a single issue with any of my Bear Creeks. And I'm trying to burn them to the ground. I literally am. I've got some YouTube videos that hopefully will be coming out soon of me trying to burn it to the ground. Like, if I can buy 5, 10 5-uppers for the cost of 1 Daniel Defense, like that's a lot of ammunition that I'm burning through like repeatedly before I burn through that 1 Daniel Defense. Like, it's like, okay, if I can get, let's say 5,000 rounds out of 1 Bear Creek, I can get 15,000 rounds out of a Daniel Defense, but the Bear Creek I can buy 5 of. That's a net positive of 2 uppers.
Sure. Also, I think what you mean by burn it to the ground is you're trying to see if you can get it to break.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to destroy it. Yes, Jay, I am burn. I'm assuming that was burn, baby, burn.
What's our website?
Oh, our website. Hold on 1 second. I'm doing too many things at the same time. Our website.
Bread, go down.
Is what?
Oh,
no, I wanted to find our website.
Okay.
Our website. Show. There we go. Okay. ResilientLiving.com.
Resilient living, not G.
Living. Yes. LIVIN. So yeah, you can go to our website and my whole inventory is there. It will. So we use Square for our website and everything. And we can't disable it. It says low inventory on basically everything unless I have like a dozen of them.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was. It was something stupid, which I tried to do at the beginning. I bought like huge quantities of everything. That's actually what's behind all these wood panels here is the extra inventory.
So we've got some inventory for a while.
Yes.
So now we just live with the low inventory on the website.
Yeah. So basically, if you go on the website and it says low inventory, just ignore it. I mean, yes, it is low inventory. It's just
not that low.
But it's not that low. Anyway. So yeah, resilientliving.com is our website. And yeah. And if you hit me up on Facebook or wherever, call me, shoot me an email, whatever. I can get whatever for you. I can order whatever. If I don't have it on the website, just let me know. I do special orders.
Oh, all the time.
All the time. Like all the time. Somebody will come in like, hey, can you get me? I sure can.
And he likes doing the research. They're like, I wanna, and then they describe the situation. And then Jared just goes to town researching the perfect thing.
Yeah. Well, and like ammunition, like I've found some really weird ammos for people. Now it'd be really nice if they would come back and buy what they special ordered.
That second half is really important.
It is. I like the idea of GMRS as an option. Oh, okay. So, yeah, right. Yeah. So I
the question.
Sorry. Okay. I like the idea of GMRS as an option. I've been remiss getting my ham license, but when I do, I'll have the radios. So yes, technically you need to have a amateur radio license. Kind of. So if you get the UV17R plus, it does cover GMRS frequencies within the GMRS specific wattage limitation. Now, it's not technically compliant because part of the FCC regulation is that you can't have a removable antenna on a GMRS radio. So that part of it isn't compliant because it is removable. But the wattage and the band, it's narrow banded already. That's all compliant. So yeah, I know, right? So I like I said, I've set it up, and a GMRS license is what, $35, I think I paid.
Yes, it's very affordable.
So I got it. It covers my whole family and all my friends that are with me. So if I go out someplace, I've got a dozen of those stupid little Baofeng 888S, stupid GMRSs. I've just got them all set up. I've got the bigger ones too, the 32s and the 17 pluses and whatever else. And they all fall under my license. So we're all legal. And that license was 10 years. I want to say.
Wow, awesome.
I think it's like 10 years for $35. So it's really easy. There's no test. I will probably be getting my ham license just because I'm going down the comms rabbit hole, and that's usually how my brain works, is I have to learn everything about everything. So I probably will end up doing that, and at some point probably doing classes at the shop, because there's a lot. It's a deep rabbit hole. Like, we get into radio or antennas. Antennas are a crazy endeavor. So yeah, when I dive down that rabbit hole, I will gladly share all information that I figure out as I go. Yeah, but anyway, that was a rabbit hole.
That was a rabbit hole. Has nothing to do with passive heating.
Nope, not at all. I mean, could you use a radio? No. Oh yeah, you need to cool your radio. So you use your radio as a passive heater for. I actually kind of did in my house growing up. I had my grandfather's old CB radio, and he had a big linear amplifier. I was okay, so I guess I have done comms for kind of a long time. I cooked that poor linear amplifier. I think it was a 100-watt linear amp. It warmed up my room quite nicely. So I've kind of actually passively heated my room using
with
radio. So that's good. Okay, so yeah, so if you want to reach around the world, you need an amateur radio license in order to get the kind of power that is necessary, and the wavelengths that are necessary to be able to bounce ionosphere, bounce lunar, to reach out. You definitely need an amateur radio license. And now that they have separated it so that you can do a technician license without Morse code, it's really, really approachable. It's really easy.
Why did they make you learn Morse code for the license?
It was part of the requirement.
Why?
Well, okay, so when you have an emergency, if you have somebody who's a long ways away and there's too much static for voice, Morse code can punch through no matter what, because you can get a dit and a daw through no matter what the static sounds like. And so there is some logic to it. I remember when we had a emergency one winter. I don't remember what happened. Maybe it was a bad snowstorm. Mom, you probably remember. I remember they set up at one of the churches, and there was some Boy Scouts that went in, and they were hams, and they set up their equipment, and they were like they were running field comms for multiple agencies.
Bless them.
And there were just a couple like kids.
Yeah.
And that's really cool.
Yeah.
With newer technology, though, now hams can directly interface into computers, and you can send text messages out over ham radio frequencies, which is, I think, every bit as good as Morse code.
Yes,
it has a technological dependency, which isn't necessarily great. Morse code is simplistic at its very core, so it's cool to be. It's definitely a cool thing to know.
Jay's got a cool question that's on topic.
Jay has a on topic thoughts on geothermal in this area. I don't know enough about it. I know back in California, geothermal was actually used for power generation. I don't actually know what kind of geothermal we have in this area. It would be really cool. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, it would.
Like, I've always thought it'd be like, whether it's it doesn't take that much heat. Like, magma's way hot. It doesn't take that much heat to heat a house. It doesn't take that much heat to heat water. Like, really. So like, wouldn't have to be that close to it to be able to Ryan, what's up, bro?
Ryan says, just to get you more off topic, smoke signals.
Thanks, Ryan. Go be with your family, sir.
Smoke signals in Morse code.
Yes, right.
You could do that, right?
We can do that. It was a bad snowstorm. Buildings collapsed.
Oh, it was like the 89, right?
That would make sense. That definitely would make sense.
A lot of hot springs in California, correct?
Yeah. There are a lot. So where we were, they're in Colorado. Yeah.
Oh, Colorado. Yeah. Excuse me. I read that wrong.
Yeah. There isn't a lot of.
I haven't heard of many hot springs out here.
I can't think of any, but I'm sure there are. It's because I know there's fault lines. So if there's fault lines, usually there's something around there.
Sure.
But yeah. Well, y'all have been talkative tonight. This has been fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we might have gotten off topic, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Cool. Well, if there is any other thoughts, aside from that, do you have any other thoughts about radiant heating or passive systems?
I don't currently have any more thoughts about radiant heating or passive systems, but if I think of a question, I know where you live.
Yes, you do. That doesn't count. Yeah, no, seriously, y'all. If you have any questions about anything, I do love doing research. Reach out to me on our Facebook. I'll throw up the banner again so you can catch that. Catch me on Facebook, Instagram. Just shoot me a message. Say, hey, I got a question about whatever. If I don't have anybody in the shop, there really isn't a whole lot for me to do. I would enjoy actually, diving down some rabbit hole to learn more about whatever and send you whatever information I can find. So if you have any questions, I don't really talk about it, but we're on wood stove and propane. SoCal has a bunch of geothermal power. Yeah, it does. I should have a wood stove. I have paid for a wood stove. I have yet to install the wood stove. Installation costs a lot. I bought the wood stove, got that, but installing it is expensive, and I just don't want to spend the money. And other things have cost more money than I thought.
Other things have come up.
Other extenuating circumstances. So no, I feel you. And because it is nice to have, it being wood heated is really nice because you have some control over that. There's several species of trees that they grow readily and have high BTU counts. So it makes it a lot easier to heat your house. That being said,
Jay's asking.
Such is life. Yeah, no kidding. What's up?
Did he order anything?
Did you order it? Let's say I think the last thing you ordered was the Para 550 cord, and you got that.
Good job.
Last time you were in. So you can come back and hang out at the shop, though. I mean, come on. I haven't seen you in like months, bro. Come on. Firewood. Yes, firewood. Now, good question. So you live here and they sell firewood in ricks. What do they sell them in Arizona? Are they in ricks or are they in cords?
I had never heard of a rick until we moved here.
Like what is a rick?
It's smaller than a cord. A lot smaller than a cord.
Third of a cord,
yeah,
I think.
I believe so.
Oh, no, I'm gonna cut down my own trees. Well, actually, no, I don't even have to cut down my own trees. My trees just fall over on my fence, and then I just go buck them up, and then I'm good.
I guess it saves some labor.
It costs the repair of the fence. Cords, good.
We're partial to cords, but then again, that's just what we grew up with. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with a rick. We're just not used to it.
Yeah. Yep. Alrighty. Yeah. 4x4x8. That is the standard measure. Yes, sir. One cord. Yes. Though I don't know. Growing up, it was always the logs need to be close enough that the mouse can get away. The cat can't get the mouse. I don't know.
It's funny.
Way I learned it. So with that, it is a little after 7. So I think it's a good time to end.
Yeah.
Do you have any?
We covered our topic and then some.
And then some. Yes. Okay. Anyway. Well, y'all, it has been wonderful. Again, if you aren't familiar with our shop, we have a small little shop right on the side of 111 between Sparta and Spencer.
It's a cute place, and it's bigger on the inside than you think.
It's my TARDIS. If you're a Doctor Who, you got that. It's filled with knives and freeze-dried food, and I've got some pants and shirts. I've got medical
emergency medical
kits. I've got body armor now.
So many good books.
I love my books. I really love my books. I did a TikTok about books today. I did TikToks today.
Excellent.
I was trying to make use of my time. I'm totally lost in my subject. I've got knives. I've got like fire starting kits. I've got
Dehydrated food.
dehydrated food.
Some homesteading home good things. We've got some canning jars and different things that you can do, accessories with mason jars, fire blankets. We have fun stuff.
Most of that you find on the website because
Yeah.
most of it's not in the shop because I
That's
ran
true.
out of floor space. Until I expand the building, I'm kind of limited, which that's phase 2
Mhm.
at some point soon. Hopefully, I've got my application into the ATF just in time for them to shut down the government. So my application to get my firearms license is kind of
It's on
stuck.
hold. They cashed our check.
They cashed their check. Of course they
So,
did.
yeah.
Of course they did.
Spell out their site name. It's a good point.
Spell out the site name. Okay. www. RESILIENTLIVIN.com.
You should put up Ryan's banner.
Yes. And since Ryan's not here to do it, I'll tell about Ryan because Ryan
is awesome.
The homestead consultant, and he has the homesteadconsultant.com where you can go for all your homestead consulting needs. No, honestly, when we bought this place, he did such a fantastic job. We had him come out. We walked the land with him. He did like some Google imaging of the land. He took all of our ideas and thoughts of what we wanted to accomplish on the land. He gave us ideas like, okay, you should put this here. You should prioritize that before you do this.
He gave us some great ideas.
Yeah. What kinds of plants to plant, where to plant them, what kinds of critters to raise. So yeah, if you have any thoughts, and then his specialty really is creative problem solving, especially like technological creative problem solving. So if you're wanting to put solar in a weird place, or you have, you want to get water up a hill, he's your guy. Just talk to him. So yeah, go to the homesteadconsultant.com and check him out. And
hopefully we'll see him back soon.
They cashed that check. Yeah. The second they got it, they cashed it. Now, whether they approve my application or not, that's beside the point. They're going to cash that sucker.
Yeah.
All
right.
So anyway.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me.
Yes.
I know you didn't have a lot to.
He asked me to join him. I'm like, I don't have a lot to say. You know that, right? But I'm here to ask questions.
You have asked exactly. I had her here to ask questions and to help me to explain things when I don't explain things well.
I do feel like I translate you pretty well.
You do. She compliments me.
I speak fluent, Jared.
Yes. 20 years now. We're 20.
Almost. We're so close
December,
to being married for 20 years.
Crazy. All righty, y'all. This. Oh, I missed it. Where is it? Oh, Joshua, thank you for joining us. And we will keep you guys and your son in prayer. For everybody who didn't join earlier, his son is having open heart surgery. So, please keep, lifting them up in prayer, and take care of everybody. Go out, get your hands dirty,
have fun,
have some fun, build a community, live resiliently. All right. Have a good one. Bye.